Hey everybody, it's Jonathan. Wanted to record this video knowing there's been a ton of confusion this week, and for that I'm sincerely sorry. We had some issues with e-learning figuring out why a page wasn't publishing right. I think we finally have it squared out, and all of you should at this point have access to finally all of the pages. So today, because I can't be anything less than what I typically am, I decided, all right, this flow isn't working right. I don't like the flow. You guys need modules. So I spent a great deal of this afternoon creating your first set of modules for you, and I'll update the rest of them. We'll have 10 modules eventually, but it basically makes it easy for you to navigate through what you're supposed to do in that week and what assignments. All of the assignments will be in one place, so you don't have to hunt around for them. So I just wasn't fond of that particular format. So I'm walking you through right now. You should see the modules tab within Canvas. So I was originally at the home page. So to get to it, just click modules on the left. And then you'll see that we have our standard Start Here module, which went through the syllabus. So if you weren't at the orientation on Wednesday, be sure you check out that syllabus. It's really important. All right. And then I asked you guys to introduce yourselves to your classmates in this forum. So to do it, you just simply click the forum itself. And then I wanted you to post a picture of yourself, talk about what you're hoping to get out of the class, and if you're currently working, where do you work, and what town do you live in? Are you close to the college? Are you available? What that tells me and other students is if you live close to the college, hey, you might be available to be a study buddy and meet here in the library or somewhere on campus. So that's kind of helpful for folks. And then also just kind of threw in a fun icebreaker. So talking about movie characters. So don't worry, I'll post in there too. But I'll leave the mystery for now. And I'm not too sure what I would be. So be sure to do that. It's not worth any points, but it's a great way to build community over these next 10 weeks. So this next one is brand new, and you will be able to see it now that I hit publish. There we go. It's a discussion board module, and you don't have to do anything here. This is a place where you can ask questions and get answers right away. I noticed that the class didn't have that, so I threw that in. There's also a student lounge. So on this one, I'm not necessarily checking this all the time. And if you have any questions, be sure to put them in the Help Me forum. So the student lounge is a great way to say, hey, I'm just curious, what did you get, or how did you answer this particular scenario within the Learning Lab? Or what did you think of this week's material? Just general stuff. Heck, it can even be, hey, did you hear about that amazing coupon over at Target? So it doesn't really have to be class related. Just a way for you guys to build community again. Okay, then we get into the Virtual Learning Lab. This is the one that a lot of you were having problems with. So you're going to want to click on the Virtual Learning Lab instructions. And then, as soon as it loads, we have the world's worst internet here. It's pretty bad. But hopefully when we get into the new health building, that'll be a lot, or it's supposed to be upgraded. So cross my fingers for that one. So for the Virtual Learning Lab instructions, to get to the site, because you're probably wondering, like, okay, I totally have registered, all that. How do I get there? You would just click this picture with the tree, or you just click right there. So and that will immediately pop you into Cengage, where you hit login. All right, hopefully that's relatively easy. If you're still having problems registering, it's not that hard. You're going to want to click on this document and download it to your computer, and I'll show you the document. It's going to walk you through all of the steps involved with registering for the class. So we went over this in our orientation on Wednesday, but for those of you that weren't able to make it, this will be helpful. Loading. Opening in protected view. We're getting there. There we go. All right. So this is going to walk you through how to register for the class. So all of you had to purchase a code, and it comes with the book. Well, it doesn't come with the book, but it should look kind of like this, except it's not a book. It's just an access code. So it's going to be kind of square, really thin, and you'll rip open the top, and it will have a code, kind of like what you have when you're installing software on your computer. And you'll go through. First, you'll sign up to create a login. Then you'll go and you'll hit My Home, and then you'll enter the code that you got inside your little access card, or the thing you purchased from the bookstore. So let's walk you through that real quick. All right. So if I'm going to do lab, here we go. I'm going to log in. I'm going to use my student ID because I had a student one, just so I could show you guys. So if you don't have a username, you're going to want to create one. So that's where it says register. So, and then once you have your account ready to go, what you're going to do is you're going to say you're going to register a product. So, and it's going to be that thing that you pull from your from that little learning code, or whatever, not learning code, your registration code. So that's the one that you purchased. So once you throw that in, it'll populate, and it will look like this book right here, the health insurance. That's the one we're looking for. Now, if you hit open, it's going to say, all right, we'll open it, but what course are you going to register for? That's that mysterious code that a lot of you were having problems finding. It is in the syllabus too, and we went over it on Wednesday, but it's this. You're going to want to go back into Canvas, and we're still on that Virtual Learning Lab instructions page, and you're going to want to highlight that code, LC6P1IC7G2. So I wouldn't worry about trying to write it down and type it. I would just copy and paste it. So you just left click and you drag the cursor over, and you're going to want to keep that left click engaged while you're dragging. Let go, and then right click once, and that will open up a series of options for copy. You just hit copy. And then when you get the prompt, I don't have it here, so I'm going to put it in with the product registration. That's not where you would put it though, remember? You're going to hit right click, you're going to hit paste, and that'll immediately populate that code, and then you'll have access to the class. So once you have access to the class, this is how you get into the lab. So you'll hit My Home, and it will look like this. Then you're going to want to go to the health. You should only have health insurance here by Michelle Green. You're going to hit open, and you can see you have a year's access to it, which is really cool if you want to go back down the road after we're done with class and still study some of this material. So let's look at the first chapter. So we know from the module overview that I'm requiring you to go through chapters 1 and 2. Now if you find that as you're going through the material, like within chapter 1 here, so let's go through we'll just load it real quick. Taking a little longer than I thought. Almost done. Alright, so it's saying, welcome, you're ready to begin your lab activities. Because we already went through the pre-assessment quiz together in class. And it's going to give you a scenario. It's going to say, click the next button to figure out what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to hit next right down here. And it's going to allow you to explore this awesome office where you can have a bunch of things. What's in the fishbowl? What's on that manila envelope? What's on the phone? Oh, looks like I'm supposed to answer the phone. So at any time, if you get confused on what you're supposed to do, you can just hit the hint button. And she'll say, roll your mouse over each shaded blue box to get more information. So that's what we're supposed to do. So we're looking all around trying to find that. There we go. And one more. There we go. Now we'll hit next. Alright, so we have the 4 tasks: communications, problem solving, critical thinking, ethics, continuing on in that interview. So your job for this week is just to finish going through all these slides. You can see we're already at 11 of 28. It's not too bad. The following one, I believe, has 27 slides for Chapter 2. Also not that bad. And you'll look at a lot of the insurance forms and a lot of the verbiage that you'll use working in that job. So anywho, so that's how to get into the lab. I know this is taking longer than you probably want to see. All right, let's go back into modules. And it's really important that I show you everything, the culmination, my little gift to you guys, if you will. So if we scroll down here under Virtual Learning Lab, you'll see Module 1. You're going to see 10 of these. And and there's an overview. I highly recommend you read the overview. It's going to walk you through when the unit opens, when it closes. It's going to give you all of your assignments. And you can see you can click it and go right to the assignment, which is awesome. And you can see there are all these dates, and I even gave you objectives, so what we're focusing on. And by the end of this is what you should have accomplished. So after you have finished all or both of the learning labs, then I want you to go into your discussion forum. And I want you to talk about what you learned. Specifically, what did you learn that you didn't know before you started the labs? Was there anything unique about the labs? Was there anything that you're like, oh, that's awesome, I totally want to talk about that? This is your opportunity. So just like in the orientation where we had discussion, where we're raising hands, sharing our some backgrounds or some ideas on what we thought of a particular topic, this is your opportunity to do that. It's not busy work, I swear. So I'm not going to be overly harsh in my grading. I just want you guys to talk to each other. So, and I'm requiring that you talk to at least 2 classmates, so 2 peer replies, but it doesn't have to be a ton of information. It's just talking about what you've gone through, what you've experienced. Do you have any relevant work experience that can tie in? Throw that in there. It's kind of really up to you guys. So as we're going to try this model for the discussions for the first few weeks, if it's successful and you guys are engaged in it and you're happy with it, then we'll run it through the rest of the quarter. If I'm finding that you guys really aren't, I'll try to pull some sort of critical thinking question that'll kind of prod discussion along. So for Module 1, all that's required of you is to complete the first 2 chapters, Health Insurance Specialist Career and Introduction to Health Insurance, of the Learning Labs. And then once you're done with those, go in and talk about your experiences. So that's it. All right, I hope it makes sense. I hope this is a better format for you. If you have any questions, send me an email or post in the Help Me discussion forum. I know I'm a little behind on emails. I'll get back to you, I promise. All right, until next week.